What's going on, everybody? So we got our Powermadd handguards installed with the LED light kit and mirror kit that you guys seen possibly in a previous video. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel for future content. And we went out and we picked up Powermadd 3-inch bar riser. So what we're going to do is we're going to go and put in our bar riser here. So on this one here, I don't think we got to reroute cables, but we're going to extend we're going to reroute the brake cable because it's a bit tight. I think we're going to be able to do it without it, but I think I'm going to feel more comfortable just kind of rerouting it from the brake caliper along the side to give us an extra couple inches. So let's go ahead and get this apart. We'll get our bar riser put on, and we'll show you how to do it. Alright, so first things first, we're going to take off this here. Take off our front, just to gain some access, and we'll show you what we're talking about for the brake line. Move this off to the side, this side panel. Down here, our brake line runs like this. It's bolted on here, just above our oil tank. And it kind of scales up, and it goes up to our handlebar. What I'm thinking I'm going to do, unbolt it from here. I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it up onto here instead. I think that would be a better likely routing. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go disconnect our battery here because we need to make access for the cable to come up and around instead, above the battery cable. So I'm going to disconnect the negative side first, because that's what you're supposed to do. Negative first, power second. When you hook back up, power first, negative second. That goes off to the side for a minute. And disconnect this here. Move that up and out of the way. So now we can put our battery cable on the other side of the brake cable. We'll just go ahead and do that now. Hook things back up. Get that good and snug. Go ahead and put our negative back on. Okay, so down here for the brake cable, there's a brake hose. We had it routed up alongside of our oil jug. We're going to take it and move this. We'll get it to go up here instead. Hopefully that's going to work with how the side panel goes on. We'll have to verify that it's not scraping or anything there. That'll give us a little bit of extra play up top. It's not as low. Try not to lose your nut and bolt. Be okay like that, I think. It's going to give us an extra inch or two up top. We're going to make sure we put this bolt back together. And the oil can. Not super tight or nothing there. Still got some flex and movement. That gives us that much more on top for the brakes. The cable, on the other hand, we got a little bit there, but it kind of goes down underneath. So we're going to have a peek at that and see if that's going to cause an issue. Let's take off the top piece here and see what happens. We took out 2 bolts and a little piece for holding our bar in place. Another one. This is Powermadd 3-inch bar riser. Alright, so on our block here, the holes were the correct size for the bolt, but they didn't quite line up 100%. So each one had to come up closer to the edge a little bit on either hole, because there was about a mil or two off-centered of each one. Now on this package that the Powermadds came in, it said it's for Arctic 2000 Arctic. Now when I asked the guy, they said this block, would it cross-reference and fit on my sled? Said yes. It's close, but the bolts that come with it are the wrong thread. So we had to turn around, get new bolts. Had to run down to the store, get new bolts. I was lucky that they had the size and length that I needed. And then we just made these holes a little bit bigger. We might still have to ream them out just a hair on either edge, the outside edges there, to get it to sit down flush. But as of right now, I can put all 4 bolts in, start the threads, and then I'm hoping it's going to suck the block down in without doing any damage. So we're going to try this block still and then go from there. Let's get back at her and put this all together and see if we got some handlebar risers. Yeah! That's got to go like this. Put that down in there for now. Slap that on over top. See if we can't drop this bolt down in here. There's 1. There's 2. 3, 4. Now I'm not going to crank these down with the impact. I'm going to use a ratchet. That grab. Okay, let's straighten these handlebars up some. Let's see. Okay, so our park brake cable routed, it goes way down. It goes that way. If we route it this way, we're gonna get more slack. So down with the park brake here, going to need, goes in behind here, so maybe take this bolt out, just kind of pull it away, slide the cable out on the outside of it. Pull this like this. There. Yeah, that she pulls tight. Okay, so right now this cable goes down through here, but it's tucked up underneath the actual brake hose. So we want to get this cable on the other side of the brake hose so we can come more down around the rad this way maybe. That'll free us up some tension. And then we'll have to loosen up the wiring a little bit to get more slack on the wiring up top. We're going to get down to disconnecting the cable down here and then lifting it up and kind of rerouting it a little bit. So I just pushed this in, disconnected the cable. This here, I believe, just sits in the slot. Oh, we might have to turn it out. Yeah. Screw this back in. There, now we got room, right? That slack. Where all the wires and everything come down, they channel right through the center. So we took the brake cable and we ran it just outside of where it normally goes, down alongside the rad cap, and then down beside the battery and stuff. And that's going to give us more of like our turning and to where we want the bars. Got the bars further up. Now we got to figure out something to do. Throttle cable might be a little, so we're going to disconnect the throttle cable. Let's loop it this way. There. Okay, now bring that way. That seems okay. That seems okay. So on the throttle cable, disconnected it up here at the handlebar, and then instead of it coming up and over like this, we routed it down and underneath here. So instead of it coming up and over, we just slid it in behind, then routed it back up, and that gave us approximately around the extra inch or 2 that we needed. So far that looks like it's going to be the deal breaker on that. Had to reroute our e-brake cable, rerouted our brake hose, throttle cable, and I believe next we could probably go and like slack off the wiring a little bit, give that a little bit more slack. We just got to allow it to come up some, I guess, right? Seems more ideal. Now I'm going to sit on this to see how the handlebars look, feel. Okay, so tighten those down some. There. That's not moving. A little bit higher up. Should be good. Open. Open. Just fire it up here, make sure nothing goes flying. I think that's about right. Now we put a 3-inch bar riser on it, and the handlebars turned up a little bit. I guess they sit about the same because of how the handguards are. But we're going to go ahead here and going to secure up that brake cable a little bit, so it's not way up there. Put a little zip tie here just so it doesn't buckle out. So, hook our oil level sensor back up before it starts tripping codes at us. Everything's tight there, everything's tight there. Good to go, and put the plastics back on. Bar's still a little higher than stock normally. See how that is when we're standing up while we're riding. Make sure to like this video, hit subscribe. We'll see you guys next time.